Okay. So, tell me about where you was born at.
Well, I was born over there on Greason Road. It wasn't Greason Road when I was born. It was over there in a house where Frankie Greason's house is now, where I was born there, 1933. You know,
What number were you
number 9.
out of 12? Can you name them all in
Yeah.
order?
Ruby Irene, Bonnie Lou, Annie Mae, Bernice Renell, Troy Thomas, Mary Alice, Margaret Louise, James Willie, Betty Rose, Albert David Greason Jr., Charles Douglas, and Etta Marion.
All right. Where'd you go to school at?
I went to Harbin's old school where the community house is now on Brooks Road
How long?
to the 8th grade, and I went to Dacula High School in the 8th grade and graduated in 1950. We just went to the 11th grade then.
Did you play basketball? What
Yeah,
else did you
all
do?
4 years.
Who was your coach?
B.V. Archer,
Who were some of your teammates?
Villa Mae, Ann Everett, Betty Brown, Mary Stobie, Ann Kemp, Catherine Franklin, and Betty Jean Brown.
How'd you get to school?
Walked
To
at
Harbin's?
Harbin's, and then the school bus picked me up when I went to Dacula.
What was your best subject?
History, spelling, and reading.
What'd you do to Raymond Whitley?
Oh, I copied his paper all the time.
In what
Carl.
subject?
Carl, too. All of them.
Carl who?
Fowler. And then I just went up there and combed Miss Knight's hair, and she would work my algebra for me.
Hmm.
You know,
What was some of your favorite books reading growing up?
I liked The Yearling, Gone with the Wind, and just old books like that.
Do you remember your first movie you went to?
Gone with the Wind.
Where at?
Probably in Lawrence in the Yearling. It was about a fawn, a deer. I think that was one of the best movies.
So you like to read a lot?
Yeah, I still read.
What's some of your favorite things, like your favorite song, color, flower?
I think the rose is my amazing flower, and
What color rose?
red, pink, yellow, white, just any of them. And then Amazing Grace and How Great Thou Art, and just songs like that.
What's your favorite color?
Probably blue, red.
How about when you were growing up, what music did you listen to?
We didn't have no radio back then.
What'd you do for entertainment?
We just got out there and worked in the field and cleaned up the yards on Saturdays, swept with brooms. Had to go down the field and cut dogwood down to make us a broom to sweep the yards. We didn't have grass in our yard.
Why?
Because Daddy didn't sow grass, and we had to milk the cows and tote in wood for the wood stove and things like that we didn't have.
So what'd your mom
We
and daddy?
didn't have electric lights in the house till way up in the early 50s.
So you had
I
lanterns?
set by the table lamp to get my lessons up all the time I was in high school. Like James is up part of the time till he quit school.
Tell me some more things about your childhood. Did y'all have cotton growing?
Oh yeah, we had cotton, corn. We had to go haul the hay up and haul the fodder up and pull the corn and put it in piles, and Daddy come out through there with the wagon and mule, and we'd pick it up and throw it in the wagon. We'd go to the corn mill. We had our own corn mill.
At your house?
We'd go to the mill and get it ground up. We didn't buy flour. We didn't buy meal.
Where was the corn mill at?
Up here at
Freeman's Mill?
Gin House.
The cotton gin behind the old
Yeah.
store? Tell me about your mom and daddy.
Well, Mama got married when she was 16 years old, and I think Ruby was born 1914 or 1915.
She was a Higgins?
Mm-hmm.
Who's some of her
Alice Lee
brothers and
Haley.
sisters?
Well, she had Uncle Alfred, Aunt Maddie, Aunt Hattie, Aunt Ada, and Aunt Eler. and Aunt Mamie, and Aunt Lou, and Mama, and Aunt Beanie.
Peavy.
Mhm.
Tell me about your daddy.
Well, there was three boys in that family, Daddy and Leonard and Uncle Will. And then they were Daisy, Ruth, Aunt Bert, Aunt Minnie, Aunt Annie,
Ain't any Dalton?
Bradbury, and
Okay.
Aunt Callie Smith.
Is any of them alive?
No,
Oh.
they're all.
Don't you have one?
Mama's sister's still alive. Aunt Lou, she's about 97, 98. She's a nursing home.
She's just a few years older than Bonnie.
Mm-hmm. She was about the same age. She's a little bit older than Bonnie. You know.
Did your mama sing or sew or?
She made all our dresses out of chicken feed sacks. When we got chicken to feed the chickens, we'd go down there and pick us out a.
She have a sewing machine or just do it with
She had a
needle?
sewing machine. She sewed all the time. She made us dresses all the time. And I tried to sew, and I sewed my finger. My grandpa had to pull the needle out of my finger when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
What about your daddy? What kind of things did he do?
He just farmed. He just worked on the farm and plowed and.
Was there any funny things or sayings or quotes he ever said, or do you remember?
I don't remember. I just.
And you didn't have a radio, didn't have a TV, so y'all just read the Bible or went to church? And
We used to go to church in the wagon down there at Ebenezer about years ago. We'd go to August meeting. It was the first week in August. We all had to get out and work so we could get ready to go. We'd always wash his feet at night because he was always out in the fields all day long. We'd go put his feet in a big old tub of water, wash his feet at night.
because y'all didn't have a bathroom.
No, didn't have a bathroom after my daddy died in 70.
How'd you take a bath?
I had to take it just out with the water, tub waters and stuff.
So you went and pumped it from a well and then...
Mom put it out there and let it get warm in the sunshine most of the time. We went out there and dipped it out of the tub. We rode up the hard way.
So did they own their own land?
Yeah, 76 acres up there on Brooks Road.
Who'd they buy that
Used
from?
to be the old Drummond farm. There was an old house.
Where was Grandma Greason born at? She from Harbin's? Dacula?
Grandma Greason?
No, Alice.
Oh, she was born here in Harbin's, Gwinnett County.
Where'd she die?
She died in 1984.
In Gwinnett County?
Mm-hmm.
What about Granddaddy? Albert.
He was born here too. He died in 76.
And tell me about what you know about your grandparents.
I didn't really know that much about Grandma and Grandpa Greason because she died in 1937. I was only about 4 or 5 years old, but Grandpa Greason came around to see us, but I stayed with my Grandma Higgins all the time I went to high school.
Where did she
She
live?
lived right across from the Dacula High School, the old Dacula High School, and I'd walk over there and come back from the basketball games and spend the night with her.
Is that house still standing?
Grandma's is tore down, but the one Villa May lived in is still there.
Is it that old white one before
Lucy
the
Hennon's old house.
cross the road from the church?
Methodist Church.
That white one?
Mm-hmm.
Who lived there?
Villa May and Uncle Alfred and them.
So Villa May...
She lived next door to her grandmother. She's growing up.
Well, what's the story about Granddaddy Grease coming on a wagon train?
I don't know nothing about that. That's just what Mary said Daddy told her. I don't know. You just can't find nothing about him, period.
But
where he come from.
His parents came from North Carolina, didn't they?
That's what that paper said the other day. That Charlotte.
So you don't know if he was a Greason or adopted by Greasons?
I don't know.
All right, so tell me what you did after high school.
Went downtown to Atlanta when I was 16 years old and tried to find me a job, and we went and walked in every insurance office, everything we could do. Couldn't find one. We went to Southern Bell, 51 Ivy Street, and give my age up to 17.
So you lied?
And had to get me a birth certificate, and then I had to change it, and finally I had to tell them that I wasn't 17. But anyway, they let me stay on.
What were you doing? And what did
long
you?
distance operator.
Who'd you live with?
Lived with Aunt Ennis and Uncle Alpha, and lived with a bunch of girls from Daphne from Ocella, and Elizabeth was from Johnson City, Tennessee, and
Was it like a boarding house?
no, it was just rooms we rented from this old lady, and then one girl from Royston. I don't remember where they was all from. They were just all a bunch of girls.
But when did you start living with Villa Mae?
After the first year when Uncle Alfred moved to Decatur, you know.
Where'd you live at?
We lived in Decatur, and then we moved over. Then I moved over there at 230 Moreland Avenue, where me and Elizabeth and Dorothy and all of us lived from Tennessee.
I thought you and Villa Mae and Francis Toller lived together or something.
No, Frances didn't live with us.
Oh.
I don't know where she lived at.
So how long did you live in Atlanta?
3 years.
And what's some of the things that you do when you went to the big city?
We went to the Fox Theater almost every week, 2 or 3 times a week. We'd have split hours. And we would also go roller skating down streets in Atlanta. Get us a pair of roller skates, go skating. Go down to the Braves game. The Atlanta Crackers was there at the old Sears store at Punch.
Move your hair over. Can't see your eyes. There you go.
At Punch the Leon, the old Braves Atlanta Cracker was there, and we used to go down to the ball.
Who's some people you got to see play?
I don't remember.
Did you see Hank Aaron? Jackie Robertson?
No, I didn't. I don't remember who played back then. I just know we went.
So roller skating and movies. Was Fox Theater a movie theater?
Fox Theater was. We went up there all the time. We had split hours, and we'd go to the movies.
What split hours?
We worked like 9 to 1 and 6 to 10, something like that. Then we didn't have split hours all the time, but we had split hours some, you know.
You wasn't scared to live in Atlanta back then? Did you have a car?
No, we just walked up little 5 Points. Walked up there all the time and ate.
So you just walked everywhere?
Walked everywhere. Didn't have no car.
What'd you wear?
We wore high heel shoes and stuff to wear. We dressed up.
Dresses or slacks?
Dresses. We didn't wear pants. We wore dresses.
What'd you do for when it got hot? Because you didn't have air conditioning. Did you go swimming?
We didn't get to go swimming that much. There wasn't nowhere around there we could go, you know. I don't remember going swimming that much.
All right, and tell me what year and how'd you meet your husband?
I met Ronnie on the telephone in the latter part of 52. And
Was he trying to make a long distance phone call?
no, I was calling somebody out there for another girl that couldn't get her break, and she asked me would I make a telephone call for her, and I said, yeah. He answered the phone. This is Callis Poohall, Callis speaking. And I started talking to him, and I talked to him about 2 or 4 weeks before I ever went out with him. And that was in the first part of 52, and then 53. We got married in February 6th, 53. Then he got out of service February 13th. Then we stayed in Atlanta to around August or September 1, and then we went to Alaska.
Where'd you move? Where'd you live in Alaska?
Mountain View, right out from Anchorage. I worked downtown Anchorage at the telephone office.
Was it near Piggly Wiggly?
Yeah, that's where I learned how to drive, behind Piggly Wiggly store. Who
taught you?
Me and this German girl, Ingeborg from Germany. We just get out there and...
Whose car was it?
Granny bought a 1949 Ford from some army guy that was going back home. We drove it back to Georgia.
What'd Daddy do?
He worked on the Elmendorf Air Force Base, painting hangars, airplane hangars. And
so what's some things you did while you was in Alaska?
We went out. They homesteaded some land at Eagle River, and they built a little cabin. We'd go out there every weekend and stay and work on it, him and his brother Larry. And they'd go skiing down at the ski lodge, and I would sit there and wait. I didn't go skiing when I was in Alaska. I didn't know how, but I did go ice skating. They took me out on the lake and left me, and I had to get up and walk and get back one. And just done things like that and rode around and saw the scenery.
What happened to that cabin that they homesteaded?
Ronnie's mother bought it, and she built onto it, and she stayed there for about 16, 18 years, and she sold it. You just go stake out your land, and Larry went out there and staked it out, and he built a little cabin out there on it. You know.
And then, what
Eagle
year?
River, that's where Sarah Palin lived at Eagle River. When I was reading her book.
So when did you decide to come back home to Georgia?
When I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant with Steve, I had to come home then or either stay. Doc said, you either come now or you have to stay.
Why didn't you want to stay?
I just didn't know whether I wanted to stay and live over there in that cold weather or not.
Have an Eskimo baby. So where'd y'all move back to?
A little house down here on Bow Springs Road. Where
And there ain't many Daltons?
Mm-hmm.
It's not standing anymore, is it?
No.
How long did y'all live there?
A couple of years till Ronnie built this house.
Who'd you buy the land from?
This right here. Mr. Frazier, Gordon Frazier. $200 for an acre.
What year did y'all build this house?
1955.
And how much did it cost you to build it?
About $750. Gwinnett Federal Saving and Loan loaned him the money.
And you had a house payment.
It was $50-something a month.
For how many years?
I don't remember that.
Alright, then Stevie was born.
In 54.
So you were living over there.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't, Stevie...
Stevie was about 18 months old when we moved out here.
Okay.
Stanley was born out here.
Where were they born at?
Crawford Lawn. Steve and Stanley were.
Where were you born at?
I was born at home.
What doctor delivered you?
Dr. Will Hennon, I guess. Old doctor. Everybody knew him.
Where was Daddy born at?
He's born over in Idaho, 1932. He grew up in Idaho, but he moved to Washington State when he was about 14 years old.
Gig Harbor.
Yeah.
And then he joined the Army and came to Georgia.
Yeah.
Met you.
Yeah. He was in the Korean War.
What about when Sharon was born?
Sharon was born at Duluth, and we was living here.
And then your precious baby.
Born in 1962 at Gwinnett, the old hospital.
Dr. Dan Martin delivered.
Yeah.
Me, who delivered Sharon?
Dan Martin.
Who delivered Steve Stanley? Do you remember?
Dr. Eugene Griffin. He got struck by lightning playing golf.
All right, so what's some things you and Daddy did when y'all first got married and had children?
We would go camping and go do things like that. You know, go fishing.
I see pictures of a little boat in the lake.
Oh yeah, out at Ed Spence Lake. No lifeguard, no life jackets and nothing, no, just in there.
And where was that, like towards Lilburn?
Lilburn, off of Killian Hill Road.
Where's Lake Jackson?
It's way down there. That's where we used to go skiing. That's where David Greason lost his glasses skiing. Randy had a friend that lived down there, and we'd go down there lots.
And what did Daddy do for a living back then?
He worked at General Motors till he went out on his own with Ed Spence, and he started working with my uncle doing maintenance work and stuff.
And what did you do?
I didn't work. I stayed home then.
Made cakes?
I didn't start making cakes till after you were born, 62.
And then
Took
when?
a cake decorating course.
What year did you go back to work?
72.
Was that in Winder?
No, I didn't work at the telephone office long in one. I worked at Gwinnett County and
But when did you work at the Winder?
that was for 72 when I got on at the county. Probably about 70.
Was it GTX? What telephone company?
What's the name of it? I don't remember the name of it.
How long did you work there?
I didn't work there long because Randy kept having surgery, and Miss Willis couldn't keep you, so I didn't work, you know.
What year did Daddy have his motorcycle wreck?
March 1970.
What day, March?
I don't remember what day it was.
Well, can you remember what happened when you found out?
I
Who
just
told
know,
you?
Miss Tweeter's come out here and told me.
And then what happened? Y'all went to the hospital?
Me and Miss Willis went and called the ambulance. They was going out of the driveway from the hospital, and we jumped in there.
Where were you going to?
Emory.
From Button Gwinnett?
Dr. Martin said take him to Emory if he lives to get there. Gave him a shot, and there they went.
So what was you thinking?
I didn't know what to think. I didn't think he was really hurt that bad, but he really was. He was just broke up all to pieces, and the ambulance driver was Whitworth, and he told me that I need to be calling my people if I had any away, because he didn't think that he was going to make it through the night. So then James came out there, and Roy came out there, and Boss Hall came out there. And Boss was the only one who could get back there and see him. I couldn't get back there to see him. His lung has collapsed on him, and they couldn't operate on him right then. They had to wait. His whole ankle was torn off.
Wasn't he in a coma?
Well, he had a concussion, from the lick on his head.
But you didn't know for really about 2 weeks he was going to make it or not?
I didn't know, because his mother came down here and his brother came down here.
Which brother?
Larry. And we just didn't know how bad he was. He was just really hurt bad.
And then what happened?
He had all them surgeries for about 10 years. They finally took his leg off. And I don't know what year they took his leg off. I can't remember.
76. I was in 8th grade.
Oh, is that when it was?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember.
Yep. So what's some of y'all's best vacations and trips you've done over the years?
I'd say going to Florida. Going to
Panama City?
Yeah.
Georgian Terrace?
Georgian Terrace. Staying there. Fountain Blue over there. And up there at Funland. Right across from there. Probably
You loved the beach, but Daddy didn't. He'd just go fishing.
Panama City.
And then
But
he'd
he'd
go to
stand
the
up
dog
there.
tracks.
He'd stand up there and holler, though. Make pictures. But I guess that was about... We had a good time at the beach, and then he really liked snow skiing back in the 80s.
He liked camping, too.
Mm-hmm. They used to go camping at Lake Lanier all the time. A bunch of them.
Yellow Jacket Hill.
Yeah.
Tell him about that time he rescued that man that drowned.
We was trying to teach Danny Greason how to ski, and we heard these ladies and this little girl hollering. I looked over there, and she said her husband was drowning, and we just went over there where they went down. They had scuba diving on, and he jumped in and got one of them, and Luther jumped in too, and that guy was going to go back in the water, and I said, no, you better not. And then he couldn't ever save the other one. It was he was 27 years old, Steve Pankey from the Atlanta Rescue Squad Police Department in Atlanta. He was drinking out there trying to learn how to scuba dive. He got drowned.
So one died and one lived.
Had a little 3-year-old kid up there on the bank. Went down about 72 foot deep of water. And we just left Sharon out there with Danny.
Didn't you lose your wedding ring in Lake Lanier?
Yeah, I did at the houseboat.
One or two?
Just one. Just a band. Just bounced off.
We used to have some
Honey
fun
Hive.
times at houseboat, didn't we?
Honey Hive.
Yep. It's green.
We had the best time up there. I guess that's some of the best times we had.
Yep. That thing would start sinking and leaning. Daddy'd go pump it up.
I know. We had to do the pontoons a couple of times.
What was your first car you ever had? Your
I
own?
didn't have a car till way back in the... till I started work. And I don't remember what he got me.
You used to get James Willie's old hand-me-down cars after he'd go get a new one at General Motors. Was it that white?
I got that orange card. That was about the first car I had. I got from Roy Emerson.
No, but you had that white Caprice or that baby blue Caprice before that.
Oh yeah, I had John Williams. He sold me that one.
Which one was first one? You had a black one, a white one, and a blue one.
The white was first, and the black, and the Caprice blue.
And then you got the orange one.
Yeah. Got it from Roy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one you wrecked, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess I had that old yellow Lincoln. Drove
Yep.
it a long time.
So how old were you when you got that white car? 40s? 50s?
No, that's in my probably early 30s.
It was after I was born.
Well, I was 29 when you was born.
Okay.
Probably my 30s.
So we used to go up and keep Dr. Martin's house.
At Christmas time and 2 weeks in the summertime. We go
Oh.
swimming every day. Ride horses.
Did you like going up there?
Oh, yeah. I love to go up there.
Does she still live there?
She does.
Miss Martin.
He died in 91 of January.
Did you ever go up to their place at Lake Rayburn?
Mm-mm. Never did.
So who was you closest to growing up? Who'd you play with the most? James?
Probably Junior and Doug and James.
So you was a
I'm
tomboy.
7 years older than that of Mary.
And Mary's 6 years older than you, so you were closer to the boys.
Yeah. Mary's older than that. She's 80. 86.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was Junior always a little off growing up?
Well, he stayed real sick when he was little. They thought he was dead one time. And he was always really sickly when he was growing up. You know.
Mm-hmm. So you built this house and had indoor plumbing before your mom and daddy?
Oh, yeah. I used to do Mama's washing down here. She didn't have a washing machine.
I remember her sitting on the porch with that big old thing you ran things through, that roller.
That old Tommy washing machine.
Yeah, and I remember going to the outhouse and I was scared.
Mm-hmm. And she didn't get an electric stove there for a long time.
How'd you cook?
On a wood stove. We had wood out there in the yard.
Hmm.
She'd heat that oven up with wood.
So what's some things that you're proud of?
I'm just real proud of my 4 kids. I mean, I wouldn't take nothing. They're just something. My 4 kids is everything, and then my 10 grandchildren, my 2 great-grandchildren. And my kids means everything in the world to me, you know.
So when Max and Haley grow up, what do you want them to tell about you?
Lord, I don't know. They probably won't never live to get really to know me that much, but I'd like for them to. I know Summer could tell them things, and Stuart, but that's about the only one of the grandkids probably could. Well, Hillary and Lee was around me a lot when they was growing up, so I'd take that back.
But what do you want them to tell their grandkids and their grandkids about you?
To live, just be like me, be honest, and work for what you get, and learn how to do things, and cook, and be a good mother, and a grandmother, and a good wife, and a good husband.
What's the hard things in life right now?
I guess the economy. I guess the cost of living and everything, health insurance and stuff like that.
What's the biggest change the major thing that changed? Electricity in your lifetime?
Yeah.
Anything else that just amazes you?
Because see, this road right here wasn't paved way back. This used to be a dirt road all the way down to my Ruby's house. And the roads and transportation system is amazing what they done did in Gwinnett County. Past 20 years.
Who all's buried down at Ebenezer that's related to you?
My grandma Grace, my grandpa Grayson, my 2 uncles, all of my brothers, and Ray, and my one of my sisters. And
Who's buried over there closest to the church? Bonnie
that's Grandma Higgins.
What's her first name?
Jane. Uncle John. Jane and John Higgins.
And that's your grandparents?
That was Mama's. Mama and Daddy.
I remember Bonnie taking me over and showing me those graves when I was little.
Yeah. And then Thomas and Etta is born up there right above, coming down to where the Greasons are all buried at.
What's Thomas and Etta's last name? Greason?
Greason.
And that's who? Your grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell. Any other stories you want to tell me about anything just funny? Or sad, or...
You know, I don't hardly remember my sister dying because I was not that old, but...
Which one?
Annie Mae. She died when she was 20, but I don't remember her. I wished I could remember her that much.
How old were you when she died?
Well, she died in 41, so 33.
10, 9.
Yeah.